All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Max DeMeo, and this is my very first YouTube video. It's going to be part of a LeetCode solution series, and in this one, we're going to go over TwoSum. Later on, if you'd like to look at the code after the fact, I'm going to post it on my GitHub repository, and I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below. So even if you just want to copy paste it and then just run it so you get the answer, you could do that too. But I highly recommend sticking around because I'm going to teach you how to also get this set up in your IDE, which is super useful. So to start, we're given the problem description, and it says we're given an array of integers and an integer named target. And basically what we want to do is return an array such that the indices of the two numbers add up to the target. So let's take a look at an example to see what they actually mean. So like we're given an array nums, which is this 3, 2, 4, and the target is 6. And what we want to do is the solution is 1 and 2. Why is that? Because at position 1 we have 2, and at position 2 we have 4. And when we add sum those, it equals 6. Same thing here. At the 0th position of this nums array, we have 3. At the first position of this nums array, we have 3. When we sum those, we get 6. So what we want to do is write an algorithm that does the same thing in the best time complexity possible. So before we get started, what I like to do is I copy the problem description and also the class and method, and I paste that straight in my VS Code. Or you can do it with any IDE you're in that you prefer, because we're just going to debug through the code. So I've already done that. I brought it over, so let's start working there. I pasted the description up here, and I just brought in the class and method. And in order to test it, basically what you do is you create an instance of that class, and basically it inherits that method. And basically you can print out to see if it will return what you expect it to. So in this case, I'm printing 2 test cases, and let's just do hello world. Boom. And save. And so if I were to cd LeetCode Python TwoSum, it just returns hello world twice, which is not what we want, because these arrays, these are some of our examples. For this bottom one, we want to return an array that's 1 and 2 because they sum to 6. And in this one, it should be 0, 1 because in those positions, they sum to 9. And that's not what we got. We got hello world. So let's get started. So the trick to this one is essentially you want to create a Python dictionary to keep track of the complement of each number in this list. So I'll go into more detail on that. So let's do comp hash. Let's create a Python dictionary, and which we will return later. Yeah, I spelled that right. I'm not blind. All right, so in order to explain this a little bit better, and it'll make a lot more sense when I debug through, but what you want to do is we're going to loop over each of these numbers. What we're going to store in this dictionary is its complement and the current index we're at. So for example, let's take this bottom one. When we get to the index 0, we have 3, right? And the complement to 3 would be 3 because when we sum those, they'd be 6. When we get here to the first element in this, or technically the second element in this list at the first position, you know what I mean, because lists are 0 indexed, we have 2. The complement to 2 is 4 because 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. When we get to this one, when we go and look in this dictionary, we would already have 4. So we'd be like, oh my gosh, we already have this. That's the solution. So essentially what we want to do is we then, that's why we want to need a dictionary, because we'd have to store this original thing's complement and the index it was at, so we could get at it later on. And I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to loop, like I said, for index num and enumerate nums, so we could keep track of what index we're at, because we need to append that to the dictionary, and also the current number that we're dealing with. So let's add it. Complement of the current to dictionary. That's if it doesn't exist, right? So if comp hash of the current number, so we're checking like, has this complement already been added to the Python dictionary? So we have to do actually, it's get num is none. We just need to add it then if it's not already in there. So for example, 3 would be 3. So let's add its complement to the dictionary. So boom, target minus num, and also store the index. So that would be the corresponding value. So the key is the complement, and the value is the index that we found it at. If we've run into this before, this isn't the case where, all right, so we get to this 4, it's in the dictionary, right? That means we found a solution. So else complement seen before, solution found. And so basically, we want to change that this dictionary to, not dictionary, this list to be comp hash. Well, so what do we want to return? We want to return indices. So comp hash, the num we're currently on. Oh, excuse me. So we access the key of this one. So for example, all right. So for, it's going to be a lot easier when we iterate through this, but comma, and the current index we're at. So basically we get the previous index and the current index, and we return it in an array. And then return, oh, we want to break. We want to break. We don't want to keep looping. So we want to break and then return, back out of this for loop, return result and save. And I think if we did this correctly, it should result. We're going to put the breakpoint right on this for loop. And so let's just go to debug and run in debug. And so for this first one, we want 0 and 1, right? So, okay. So here's our list in local variables, and here's a target. So we're going to loop over this list. Boom. Okay, our num is 2, and our index is at 0. We're at the 0th element of the array down here. So we go through. The complement to that is 7, and so we're going to store it and the current index. Boom. As you can see, it's been added to the dictionary. All right, next one. The current number is 7, and the index is 1. All right, we're going to ask in this if statement, is this already in the dictionary? Why, yes, it is. So we actually already have the answer. So basically what we do is we create an array where, boom, we get the first place that it occurred, the 0th element, and now the current index, because that's the second half of the solution. We're going to break out of the for loop and return the result, and we get 0, 1. All right, this one goes a little bit further because one of them doesn't work. So we go into the for loop over this array. Boom. The number is 3 and the index is 0. Is it in the dictionary yet? No. So we'll add it. We'll add its complement and the current index. So its complement is 3 and the current index was 0. We go into the next element. Boom. 2. The current index is 1. We'll store its complement, which is 4, and the current index, which is 1. So boom, boom. As you can see. All right. The next item in the array is 4, and that is in the dictionary. We've seen that before. So go to this else statement, and now we're going to return, we want to return 1, 2, because those are the indices that result in the sum being the target. So then we break, we get out of that for loop, get out of Dodge, return the result, boom, we're done. That was the solution. So now, essentially, if you want to finish the problem in LeetCode, just to do this, go through this exercise of copying, pasting the method. Let's tab that in one, and running the code. And look at that. Got it. Accepted. We passed all of their test cases, and the solution has been found. So I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please feel free to leave a like or subscribe. If you'd like to connect with me, I'm very active on Twitter and GitHub. You can also contact me at my website at maxwelldemeo.github.io. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Peace. Bye.